Most of our students, bless their hearts, they are not trained dancers. They have other professions, they spend their lives becoming professional in other parts of life, but they come to have fun in the weekends or whatever to dance socially. Some of them become very good and become trained dancers, but in the beginning they're not. So one example, there are many examples, but one example is that if you're not a trained dancer, chances are that you don't know the difference between moving from your waistline and moving from your hip joint. And this is one reason why not to teach hips to Tarraxo beginners, because they will end up in many cases using their waistline and not keeping their center like we need in Tarraxo. This is just one example. Many of you look at demos from me and Guani and think that you can take the basics from there. You can't. Yes, me and Guani, sometimes we move like this. Tack, tack, because it was a choice. It was a choice. Sometimes we move our hip like that because it was a choice. And that choice comes from proper leg technique. So when you see a demo and you see, oh, they're moving their hips, that does not mean that you should use your hips when you're learning how to weight transfer the most basic way. And we have to stop this thing about looking at demos and learning from those. There's a lot of technique behind the movements we do that you cannot figure it out yourself by just looking at the demo. You have to come to class. Okay, so some people are confused because we say, when you learn the basics, you should learn how to move from your legs and your floor connection before you start to add your hips. And as you know, when a lot of people don't listen carefully and other people tell other people, some information gets lost. And some people say, you cannot use your hips in Tarraxo. And that's false. We use a lot of hip in Tarraxo. A lot. But in order for you to have a lot of options in your hips, you need to learn how to make a weight transfer without the hips first. Hi guys, this is Liliana and I am making this video to help sort out some misunderstandings and misconceptions in the Tarraxo community. It's about hips, whether we should teach them or not and how we use them or not. A lot of you are confused, and this is natural because this is what happens when a community grows as much as Tarraxo is growing right now. Okay, the whole world is dancing Tarraxo, different cultures are dancing Tarraxo, different cultures are teaching Tarraxo, people have different opinions, and some are not really understanding where we come from, me and Guani, when it comes to controlling that the students understand their floor connection before they understand their hip. Okay, so I'm making this post for you guys to understand exactly where we come from and to clear things up. Swipe, and I hope it makes sense.